Hello, everyone. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Joey. For those who do, my name is still Joey. Um, as of yesterday, we have started reading through the Gospel of Judas. The Gospel of Judas you can't find in the actual Bible. It's still being found, and I'm sure there were other options on why it wasn't in the Bible. I'm not 100% sure. Um, and a friend of mine mentioned I went asking around on social media as well as on this two videos prior, asking about where I should continue. And I remember saying I wanted to get into a gospel, thinking of the main four: Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. And my friend mentions the Gospel of Judas. And so did some research, and here I am with the Gospel of Judas here on my laptop. And so yesterday we left off on page 26. If we're looking at the PDF pages, this is page 29. I'm going off of the page number on the on the translated page, uh, just for the sake of solving some confusion, because I'm sure yesterday wasn't very helpful, me saying this page and I'm reading something completely different, and you're like, wait, where does that say? So uh, saying clearly that we are on page 26 on the pages itself, not off of the PDF pages on that top hotbar. So without further ado, I went into a lot of explanation yesterday about this, and that took me to a really long recording, and so I am going to go right into this so that the recording isn't as long, and so that I actually have the time to talk about this and leave uh, my own thought process on it, my own perspective on how I read this and how I interpreted it. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So we have the Gospel of Judas, um, page 26. We're going to go right into page 27. I'm just reading the subtitle for this part. Jesus offers an allegorical interpretation of the vision of the temple. Jesus said to them, "Why are you troubled? Truly I say to you, all the priests who stand before that altar invoke my name. Again I say to you, my name has been written on this, of the generations of the stars through the human generations. And they have planted trees without fruit in my name, in a shameful manner." Jesus said to them, those you have seen receiving the offerings at the altar, that is who you are. That is the God you serve. And you are those 12 men you have seen. The cattle you have seen brought for sacrifice are the many people you led astray before that altar. Will stand, there's some space there, and then it goes right into, I think that's verse 47. Will stand and make use of my name in this way, and generations of the pious will remain loyal to him. After him, another man will stand there the from the fornicators, and another will stand there from the slayers of children, and another from those who sleep with men, and those who abstain, and the rest of the people of pollution and lawlessness and error, and those who say, "We are like angels." They are the stars that bring everything to its conclusion. For to the human generations it has been said, "Look, God has received your sacrifice from the hands of a priest, that is, a minister of error." But it is the Lord of the universe, who commands, "On the last day they will be put to shame." Jesus said to them, "Stop sacrificing, which you have over the altar." I'm leaving spaces there because there's ellipses there. Um, since they are over your stars and your angels and have already come to their conclusion there. So let them be ensnared before you, and let them go. Wow. And here says about 15 lines missing. That's a lot. Generations, ellipses. A baker cannot feed all creation under heaven, and blank to them blank, and blank to us and blank. I probably don't need to be reading that part, but I want to make sure I'm reading everything word for word. Jesus said to them, "Stop struggling with me. Each of you has his own star." And everybody, 17 lines missing, in ellipses, who has come, sprang for the tree of this aeon for a time. But he has come to water God's paradise and the generation that will last, because he will not defile the walk of life of that generation, but for all eternity. This is a very interesting passage here. Jesus is kind of saying, "Why are you troubled? This is you guys. This is you guys who have left people astray, who have said the wrong things, who have led the wrong message out." This could be this is before Jesus, or because they're still not understanding Jesus and they're going out there saying the wrong things, so on and so forth. And so it continues on, saying to stop sacrificing. It's very interesting how there's in this passage that I'm reading that there are 32 lines missing in this part of the gospel. I find it very interesting. I wish they were there so we could read on it and understand more of what Jesus is talking about. And who knows, maybe those will be found, maybe they won't. And it's all up from that how we interpret this and how we can continue on from it. Jesus kind of saying everyone has their own star. And where did it say about the star before? My name has been written on this space of the generations of the stars through the human generations. So the stars being us, stars being every single person, because Jesus later then says that they are the stars, the disciples, the followers of Christ. And through this interpretation, saying that these will go throughout the generations, and throughout those many stars, it'll soon lead to our to the impending doom. I believe. I read that wrong. I completely read that wrong. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could understand a little more of what that star reference is, besides the fact that it's kind of the showing of like those stars are the disciples, those stars are the generations past who are followers of Christ. This gets a little more like astrological than anything. I think that's the right word. Or astronomical. One of the two. It might be astronomical. I think it's astronomical. And which is very interesting. You don't really see a lot of talk about stars and such through the Bible. And so it's a little different getting to see this from Judas. Continuing on. Judas asks Jesus about that generation and human generations. Judas said to him, "Rabbi, what kind of fruit does this generation produce?" Jesus said, "The souls of every human generation will die. When these people, however, have completed the time of the kingdom and the Spirit leaves them, their bodies will die, but their souls will be alive, and they will be taken up." Judas said, "And what will the rest of the human generations do?" Jesus said, "It is impossible to sow seed on rock and harvest its fruit. This is also the way the defiled generation and corruptible Sophia, the hand that has created mortal people so that their souls go up to the eternal realms above. Truly, I say to you, blank, angel, blank, power, will be able to see that blank, these to whom blank, holy generations blank. After Jesus said this, he departed. Judas said, Master, as you have listened to all of them, now listen to me, for I have seen a great vision. This is after some time, and Judas has a vision. It says right above it, scene 3, Judas recounts a vision, and Jesus responds. Continuing on. When Jesus heard this, he laughed and said to him, You 13th spirit, why do you try so hard? But speak up, and I shall bear with you. Judas said to him, In the vision I saw myself as the 12 disciples were stoning me and persecuting me severely. And I also came to the place where blank, after you, I saw a house, and my eyes could not comprehend its size. Great people were surrounding it, and that house had a roof of greenery, and in the middle of the house was a crowd, 2 lines missing, saying, Master, take me in along with these people. Jesus answered and said, Judas, your star has led you astray. He continued, No person of mortal birth is worthy to enter the house you have seen, for that place is reserved for the holy. Neither the sun nor the moon will rule there, nor the day, but the holy will abide there always, in the eternal realm with the holy angels. Look, I have explained to you the mysteries of the kingdom, and I have taught you about the error of the stars, and blank, send it blank on the 12 aeons. Judas asks about his own fate. Judas said, Master, could it be that my seed is under the control of the rulers? Jesus answered and said to him, Come, that I, 2 lines missing, but that you will grieve much when you see the kingdom and all its generation. When he heard this, Judas said to him, What good is it that I have received it? For you have set me apart for that generation. Jesus answered and said, You will become the 13th, and you will be cursed by the other generations, and you will come to rule over them. In the last days they will curse your ascent to the holy generation. This kind of goes into the Judas is curious, asking about what Judas's life, what his fate is gonna lead to him, and I'm sure this comes from the vision that he had. And Jesus, after hearing the vision, says that your stars have led you astray, or your star has led you astray. I want to get an understanding of what that star is. Just because I'm having a hard time following along with this star thing. I mean, this clearly gets to becoming more personal with Judas and Jesus with the vision, and then him asking about his fate. I'm sure all the disciples were curious about what their fate was going to lead them to, or what their fate looked like. And I think, to my knowledge, Jesus didn't really say much of it because he didn't want to either, one, scare them away, or other things. He could have just straight up told them, you are going to be, you are going to get persecuted and such things. And I'm sure they understood that when they were following Jesus, and Jesus was getting persecuted as he got closer and closer to his fate. And so, I don't really know. I mean, Jesus kind of tells him that he will become a ruler, saying you will come to rule over them. You will become the 13th disciple of the 12. I thought Judas was already I thought Judas was already a disciple. I want to know what this 13th is. Is there 83 on Judas as the 13th, where Judas is said to be the 13th spirit or demon? Interesting. You will become the 13th spirit or demon, and you will be cursed by the other generations. I wonder if these generations are something else, are spirits or demons, and you will come to rule over them. In the last days they will curse your ascent to the holy generation. It's very interesting. The text seems to allude of some kind of transformation or ascent as in. Interesting. Now, of course, I'm skipping a lot of there's a lot of little like subtitle things to help you understand the text more as well. Maybe I should be reading those as well. But I am running out of time. I know I'm pointing down here at the timer. My timer's on the bottom left corner, whereas yours are like it's a bar across. So you're like, yeah, you're getting close to being done. But this makes me very curious. Part of me is thinking, am I supposed to be reading this? Am I not? Am I supposed to? Am I not supposed to be reading this? I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to do more research on this. I will still plan to read this continuing on, but I'm going to end it there because the more I read, the more time I take, and the shorter the video is going to be, or the more parts I have to send out. So, with that, thank y'all for who decide to listen to this, who possibly follow along. I will again put the same website on here in the description for y'all to follow along, that or to research on your own about. Thank you for taking your time to look at this. I'm not 100% sure what I'm taking from it yet, but I'm still somewhat excited to see what there is for me to take from this, or I guess I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I mean, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow.